Hello guys and girls, this is Phoenix Tremaine and this is my review of the Have and Have Nots. But first, if you haven't done so, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Also, quick note, I'm trying to build my Instagram and Twitter following. And so if you're on Instagram or Twitter, please follow me and see all the good stuff I put out on Instagram and Twitter. But right now, we're going to get into the Have and Have Nots. This is probably going to be a pretty short review because the Have and Have Nots does something that no other show on television does, and that's long ass scenes. Any other TV show you've ever watched, you've seen a collection of scenes. They even jump back and forth between characters. Occasionally, the Have and Have Nots will do that, but a lot of the time, you get really long scenes. Occasionally, it hurts the show because it's like we've got to drag the scene out to commercial break to commercial break. And so sometimes the writers have made the point of what they want to say in the scene, but the actors still have to drag it out. This episode also suffered from a little bit of bad acting, which came mostly from the police officer in the scene. We had a little comedic humor with the mother across the street wondering why Candace has more than one man in her house, and her son's reaction to that. But for the most part, we had a scene that was really long, almost 20 minutes, and that was Candace and Jeffrey trying to not make the police officer suspicious or have him come in the house. Jeffrey was being a complete pussy, which kept annoying me. That just because he's gay doesn't mean he would fall apart the way he did. And that's sort of like fed into a stereotype that I don't like. You know, I would have loved to have seen some strength come from Jeffrey. And if they wanted to do the whole drunk driving thing, Candace did get him to drink earlier, so anything could have happened from that. But the way it actually played out, I didn't like, because I hated that Jeffrey was such a bitch. And not a bitch, I mean like a pussy bitch. Like, it ruined it for me. You know, Candace was still that tough bitch trying to get shit, taken care of. Jeffrey couldn't even, he couldn't even really get rid of the car. It was just a whole lot of bad choices in directing and writing, just to cause the scene to be dragged out. Next, we got probably my favorite scene in the show, and this is when Catherine realizes that Wyatt was probably raped in jail based on his behavior when he was raped by the priest, and his behavior when he came back from jail. She's like, it's the same behavior, and that if anything happens to her son, she is her father's daughter. And she reminded Veronica that how ruthless her father was. And Veronica actually, and what I loved about the scene is Veronica actually looked scared when she said there's no wrath that will be, you cannot be protected from my wrath, or whatever she said. And then she reminded Veronica that the priest that hurt Wyatt disappeared. And so Veronica, and this credit to the actress playing Veronica, she looked like she was about to pee in her pants. And I love that because, a lot of times the acting on the Have and Have Nots can be a little uneven. But these actors were on the point, and I think they just really developed good chemistry. I can't wait for Catherine to finally, they drag it out 2 seasons, but I can't wait for Catherine to finally find out that Veronica is her enemy, not her friend, and that Veronica is responsible for her son being raped. Then we've got the gang waiting for Veronica at her home to kill her, but they got arrested on television during a press conference. So I was shocked that it took that long for people to know that, they were arrested. Wyatt doesn't, I don't know what's going on with Wyatt. Well, I guess he knows because he talked to Jennifer. But, the other problem with the Have and Have Nots is the timeline. So far, we're probably going to be going into 3 episodes, and it's still the same damn day, which is an issue with me because, like, they did a whole half a season where Benny was in a coma, and then they were like, that whole half a season actually lasted 2 days. So when it comes to have-nots, you have no idea, how long they're going to drag out one day or one night. Let me see. Benny and the gang does see on the laptop or something that Veronica was arrested, and they're like, as soon as she gets out of jail, we're gonna pop her, which means they're gonna kill her. Benny goes to the motel to try and convince Hannah that she needs to move in with him, and of course Hannah resists and she doesn't want to move in the house unless Candace tells the truth of where she got the money from, because she wants to know how much blood was spilled to buy this house. And what if Candace says it was fucking serial killer massacre? Is Hannah gonna be like, oh, okay, we can move in so the social worker doesn't take the kid away from me? Of course not. So I really hate that Hannah's pride gets in the way of her being able to move forward in her storyline. We know she's eventually going to go to the house because we can see from the credit previews and stuff that the social worker told her in the preview for next week that a motel is not a stable place for a kid, which means she don't have any place to go but the house. But they're dragging out just to get to that point. Then we got Wyatt getting out of control. He's an addict. He's drinking, and in the preview for next week, we see he's buying drugs because he's happy he's about to get all his money. But Wyatt doing drugs and shit and being out of control could possibly be the thing to get the Criers and the Harringtons off if they can show that he's an unstable drug addict who could say anything, to get them in trouble, and then have the whole case thrown out. So maybe that's why they've decided to make him go this route. Then we got Jennifer and David. Turns out they had a relationship prior to him and Veronica, and it was so crazy to see Jennifer literally throw herself at David while he's handcuffed to a chair. She jumps on top of him and starts kissing him and literally tries to almost rape him into taking a deal so that, when I say rape him, I mean she was trying to fuck him. So rape him into doing this deal. She didn't want to help his wife, but she wants to get Jim Crier so bad she's willing to go there and let Veronica free too. But David being loyal, even though Jim has treated him like complete shit, he's loyal so he doesn't take the deal yet again. And this is crazy because we've seen how David has threatened to be a real man and take care of shit, handle his wife, handle, the situation. But each time they decide to make him a pussy, he backtracks. I can't understand how these women, he's got 3 women, Veronica, Maggie, and now Jennifer, in his life. And it's like, he's just as much of a pussy as Jeffrey. And I guess that's where Jeffrey gets it from, because he's so indecisive that the only thing he was able to do was to get the money back from Candace, and Jim literally almost basically metaphorically spit in his face, like, fuck this money, I'm gonna kill your wife. And so I really hate that David is such a bitch. David's such a pussy. Then we have Jeffrey is arrested for drunk driving, and of course he's drunk, so he's not in his right mind. But if it comes out that Quincy may or may not have been killed, then he's in Quincy's car. Anybody could see Jeffrey in Quincy's car, know that Quincy is missing, and that's his ass. He went to a convenience store that probably has cameras that they can say, oh, there's the car. Oh, that's Jeffrey Harrington. What is he doing in this missing guy's car or this deceased guy's car? But at the end of the episode, I don't know what's going to happen, because as Candace was trying to get rid of the body on her own, Quincy grabbed her leg. which is physically impossible to have happen. So no matter what, I used to be a paramedic, a firefighter and a paramedic, and we only have so much blood in our body. This man had to have been on the floor bleeding out for at least an hour from multiple stab wounds. So no matter how slow the timeline is on the have and have nots, there's no way in hell, especially with all the blood on the walls, all the blood on Jeffrey, all the blood on Candace, all the blood in the floor when they moved him. The fact that he could actually reach up and grab her ankle and grip it is physically impossible. He would just be weak from the blood loss, so that's really fucked up. I like that the show is trying to build a lot of suspense, and that they're trying to keep you glued at the edge of your seat to see what happens next. And I'm okay with building suspense. I would love shorter scenes that get straight to the point so that we have more things happening in one episode. But we're going in the third episode of the season, and the Harringtons are still sitting in jail, haven't seen a judge. And, Quincy's still on the floor in a pool of blood. And one side note, we probably are just seeing Jeffrey's new love interest because the cop was feeling Jeffrey up because he found out that he was gay. So I don't know where they're going with that because they showed Jeffrey taken to the police station. I thought he might suck his dick and then let him go or something. But that's obviously not going to happen. But I'm just as excited to see the have and have nots next week as I was this week because it's a good show. It's better than it's been in a long time. And I think it's hitting its stride. And it seems that the have and have nots have every other episode is really fast paced and does what it's supposed to do. So we got the slow episode this episode. So the next episode should probably pick up the pace. If you watch my reviews from last season, I complain that I liked every other episode. I don't know if that means the writers change every other episode. I can check that on Wikipedia. But that's it for Have and Have Nots. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed this review and me talking about it, giving my 2 cents. And please, if you're able to, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I really appreciate everybody who, when I asked, could you join me on Facebook? All of you pitched together and friended me on Facebook. And now I have 5,000 followers and over 5,000 Facebook friends and over 1,000 people following me. So I hope that we can do the same with Twitter and Instagram because I'm really working every day to post some really good stuff for you, and I will be posting things tomorrow as well that I found today that I think everybody will get really excited about and enjoy. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope to hear from you in the comments, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And thanks for watching.